Hello students. So far we have discussed the concepts of trigonometric equations which involve the unit circle, principal solution, general solution, and we learned the way to find those solutions. Now it's time to implement those concepts. Now I'll be solving questions in two parts which will be involving the concepts that we have learned so far. So some of the concepts will be used in the first part and the rest would be discussed in the second part. So let's start with the first part. Let's start with some examples based on the concepts that we have just learned. The first example is that we have to find a general value of theta satisfying both the equations sin theta is equal to minus 1 by 2 and tan theta is equal to 1 by root 3 simultaneously. So the key point is here that we have to solve the equations simultaneously. We have already learned the formula for equations when we have to deal with equations simultaneously. We'll just see what we can do in this question. So first we try to locate superficially the quadrants in which the solution may lie. That is, sin theta being a negative here would be lying either in the third quadrant or in the fourth quadrant. Whereas if I look at the second equation, that would give me a hint. Tan theta is equal to 1 by root 3 being positive shall either lie in the first quadrant or in the third quadrant. So the common point or the overlapping region of the two solutions or the solution to two equations would be the third quadrant. In this quadrant my solution shall lie. Now if I try to put it in that way, I shall solve for it further. That is, sin theta is equal to minus 1 by 2 would give me minus of sin pi by 6, which can be written as, when put in third quadrant, would be pi plus pi by 6 is equal to sine of 7 pi by 6. For the second equation, I get tan theta is equal to 1 by root 3, which in first quadrant can be written as tan of pi by 6. In the third quadrant, it can be written as tan of pi plus pi by 6. The sign won't change as the tan is positive in third quadrant again. I will get tan theta is equal to tan of 7 pi by 6. Now this is though the two equations are of the form sin theta is equal to sin alpha and tan theta is equal to tan alpha. So the solution to that equation is, we have just learned that the solution to such an equations when simultaneously solved is theta is equal to 2n pi plus alpha. Hence we get theta here is equal to 2n pi plus 7 pi by 6. That's the solution to this equation, this example. Moving on to the next example then. The example says that I have to solve for x. If nothing has been mentioned, then you should try to solve for the general solution. Okay. Now let's see, the example is sin square x minus 4 cos x is equal to 1. I can do is I can split sin square x in terms of cos square x so that I get a quadratic equation in terms of cos x which can be solved ahead. I'll do the same. I write sin square x as 1 minus cos square x minus 4 cos x is equal to 1. I cannot locate the solution right now in the unit circle. The reason being, it's not a simplified equation. I'll first simplify it, then I'll try to locate the quadrant. So that gives me 1 would cancel out. That leaves me with cos square x plus 4 cos x is equal to 0. Cos x being taken common, I get cos x plus 4 is equal to 0. So either cos x is equal to 0 or minus 4. As minus 4 is not possible, reason being cos x lies between, for any value of x, between plus 1 and minus 1. So proceeding further, I get cos x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2, which is an odd multiple of pi by 2, for which cos x would always be 0. So that's the solution to this example that we have just solved.
Moving on to the next example. The next example says I have to find the value for x other than 0 lying between 0 and pi by 2, that is acute angle other than 0. Because we can see that the equation contains just sine terms, and the most default solution to this equation can be x equal to 0, and we have been told that the solution should be other than 0. Now we will try to find out how we can proceed with that. Now let's say if I try to couple the first sign, that is sine 5x and sine 3x, I will get the two signs combined to get 2 sine 3x cos 2x plus sine 3x is equal to 0. Then sine 3x can be taken common, that would give me sine 3x into 2 cos 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, or sine 3x is equal to 0, or cos 2x is equal to minus 1 by 2. Then if I solve this, I would get 3x is equal to n pi, or x is equal to n pi by 3. On solving this, I would get 2x is equal to 2n pi plus minus 2 pi by 3. Now 2 pi by 3, why 2 pi by 3? Because 2 pi by 3 lies in second quadrant where cos is negative. That's why I chose minus 1 by 2 to be written in form of cos of 2 pi by 3, which gave me this equation, and from this equation I get the value of x as n pi plus minus pi by 3. Hence x is equal to n pi by 3, that is one solution, and x is equal to n pi plus minus pi by 3 is another solution. So if I solve for these two, I would have pi by 3, 2 pi by 3 and so on, and from this I would get, if I solve for x, for n is equal to 1, I would get pi plus pi by 3, that would be 4 pi by 3, and pi minus pi by 3 is 2 pi by 3. If I solve for n is equal to 0, I would get pi by 3 plus minus pi by 3. So if I now try to match the two sets of solutions that I have, that is this one and this one, only pi by 3 can be matched, and that's the real solution, that is x is equal to pi by 3. Why pi by 3? Because there are two conditions that have been put on me, that it should be lying between 0 and pi by 2. That's why these values have been rejected. That is 2 pi by 3 was present in both the solution sets, but it was greater than pi by 2, that's why we rejected it. Moreover, pi by 3 was contained only as a positive in the first set and positive and negative of pi by 3 in the second set. So we chose the overlapping solution, that was plus pi by 3, and x was equal to plus pi by 3. If you have any doubts or queries in this chapter, you can post your doubts on the website for free. To do so, go to the website askIITians.com and the tab discussion board. The next page will have on the right hand side Ask Expert section, where you can post your doubts. Just select the category, type in your question and click Get Answer. We at Ask IITians will be able to answer your question within 24 to 48 hours. So students, in this part we solved some questions based on the concepts that we have learned throughout this chapter till now. We will be solving some more questions in the next part, so stay tuned.